Hello, today is Monday, July 10th, 2023. I'm Adam Hartog. Sitting next to me is my court-appointed attorney, Thomas Frey, and this is episode 12 of the Breaksdown podcast, brought to you exclusively by 528 Collectibles. We have an enjoyable multimedia program for you today. We'll get into housekeeping, talk a little baseball, talk a little basketball. We'll do a draft of the coolest sports video game covers, and we were just talking about this before, whether to call it coolest or our favorite. We went with coolest because we're just right about it. And then we'll close out with awards. Travis and Michael, we miss you guys. Okay, taping this just after 8 p.m. on Monday. We'll jump into housekeeping. The Home Run Derby is tonight. The participants are Luis Robert, Adley Rutschman. Is that right? Rushman.
Soft T.
I'm going to rush, man. Had to get through it. Pete Alonso, J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, Mookie Betts, Vlad Jr., Adolis Garcia, I don't know who that is, and Randy Arozarena, who I very much dislike.
Yeah, I did not. I put money on, actually, the one guy you said you didn't know, Adolis Garcia.
I left out an S.
I think that's a hard S, not a soft S.
You know what? I typed the names out, and I must have fat-fingered it.
There's an S on the end of there, yeah, Adolis Garcia. Yeah, he's on the Rangers.
I still don't know who he is, though.
He's on the Rangers. He's good. He hits the ball very hard and very far, usually.
That's a good skill set for this.
Yeah, I threw some money on him. He's definitely the underdog. Obviously, Big Meat Pete's the favorite, because...
Is that really his nickname?
Yeah. Because he lives for this.
I thought it was like something to do. I thought it was the polar bear, or it's one of those Kraken El Gary things.
Yeah, I think he's got two.
Okay.
But unless I'm the only one that ever has called him that, and if that's the case, then
you need to trademark it immediately.
Yeah, then yes, for sure. But yeah, he's the favorite. Him and J-Rod had a pretty crazy battle last year. But yeah, it'll be fun. Well, yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but ridiculous that it's on a Monday, basically.
And that we both found out about it today, which is probably the case for a lot of people.
I knew it was coming up, and I knew we were on the All-Star break now. The marketing for this was so awful.
Well, it's crazy, too, because the Yankees played yesterday. We were watching them play. You don't expect it to be this immediately.
Yeah.
The All-Star break was happening, right?
Yeah.
All-Star weekend, at least.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. The dates for All-Star Weekend were Saturday to Tuesday. So I know the break didn't start, but to have All-Star Weekend and the fan festivities and stuff going on while the season's actually happening.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I
was going to say unique, but I think it's dumb too.
Yeah, no, unique and stupid or dumb, whichever you prefer.
Have you been to an All-Star event?
I have. I went to the All-Star game when it was in New York.
At Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was awesome, yeah. I still have my A-Rod All-Star jersey from then.
That's dope.
It was huge on me then. It's huge on me now. So can't really even wear it, but maybe I'll break it out for an episode. But
yeah, you should. That's cool.
It's massive.
I actually didn't know you went to that.
It's it is absurdly big.
Did you get it thinking maybe I'll wear this when I have a podcast in 14 years?
Yeah, that was probably what I was thinking. Maybe it was also I'd grow into it, or hoping I'd grow into it, and I grew, but just not enough. So, it's really big.
I went to the NHL All-Star game when it was in Ottawa. It was a very cool experience. Ottawa's interesting, but it was cool to be at the All-Star game and just around. Hockey was my favorite sport at the time, bar none. So that was my mecca.
Yeah, at that time I would say, or when I went to the game, I think baseball was probably my favorite sport too. But
was that the first year of the new stadium, or just after?
It was either...
I think it was a little before, actually.
It was either the first year at the new stadium or one of the last 2 years at the old one.
I think you're right.
It might be 07 or 08.
We didn't go to school together when it happened. And
I was young, for sure.
The first year we went to school together was when the Yankees won in 09, that fall. The first year.
It was... 2013 was at Citi Field. 2008. So yeah, last year at the old stadium.
Cool.
Yeah. So how old was I? 9? Yeah, that sounds right. Sure, close enough. Not a math podcast.
Oh, definitely not. Probably the least math podcast.
Yeah, that's my worst everything.
Mookie in it is cool.
It is cool. I don't think of him as it's cool for star power more than anything else. He hits home runs. He's not not a home run hitter. He's not a slugger in the sense of a home run derby. I think his odds to win are plus 1,800. I mean, I think I'm exaggerating, but he was by far the underdog.
Do you know what J-Rod's odds were? I'm not asking you. I am asking you. I don't know though.
I think Pete was plus 350. I think J-Rod might have been plus 600, something like that.
The reason I'm asking is because I feel like a lot of times the home favorite wins. Not home favorite in a betting sense, but it's in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Frazier win when it was in Cincinnati? The one that ended up on the Yankees, Todd?
Yeah, Todd Frazier. Well, both Fraziers, I guess. 'Cause
yeah,
Clint
true.
Too, and
Clint
Jackson. No, he is back to Clint.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Clint, then Jackson, now Clint.
Then Ocho.
ESPN, or Chad Ocho.
Just that's the name change cycle.
Yeah.
Panda's friend, perhaps.
Yes. That just made me think of the 2000 who in 2008 won the home run derby. I want to know because Cano did win. I just don't know if it was.
I think it was a little after that.
You think?
If I remember, I think yeah.
Okay. Well, then I was trying to help out your theory, but
no, I mean you could be right. Definitely check. But I feel like I remember that being
Justin
closer
Morneau.
I feel like I remember it being closer to when he left the Yankees that he won.
Oh, this was the year Morneau won, but Josh Hamilton had the most ridiculous round of all time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So yeah.
I think Ken Yes won in 2011.
Okay. Yeah, for that whole time frame of when things were and how old I was is so skewed. It all just blends together.
You know what really shook me today? The finding out that the guys drafted into the NBA last week, 2 weeks ago, were 9 years old when LeBron left the Heat.
If that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what does.
They were too young to even process or understand the magnitude of the decision, and not even the egotistical side of it. Just LeBron going to Miami.
Yeah, I mean it was just a cataclysmic decision. How many years ago was that now, if you're doing that math for me? 15, 14?
14 or 13.
So I went on Facebook for the first time in a long time, and I had a Facebook memory, and I clicked it, and it was a Facebook post by me 14 years ago today. As of today, I hate LeBron. And I just proclaimed it to the world.
That must have been him going to the Heat.
It was absolutely, yeah. It was, otherwise, I liked LeBron, but that was when it really went downhill, my relationship with him.
Was it, though? I'm having a hard time remembering it because they lost the finals, the 2011 finals, so the start of that season was 2010.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I could be...
It could have been after they blew it to the Celtics.
It was...
But I guess that was the
July 8th, 2010. So, that was when the decision...
Ago.
So, 13 years ago today, I now hate LeBron.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
I thought the 14 was we know this for sure.
Oh, no. This is all
conjecture.
Yeah, I don't do well with numbers of any sort. So
it's true. Tom actually, and he's not pretending, but I thought he was for months when I first found this out. He watches almost every Yankee game, almost every Knicks game, every Giants game. Knows every player by face, has no idea what any of their numbers are.
Couldn't tell you any of them. Even my favorites, I don't know them.
It's crazy. He has no idea what number Julius Randle is. I think by now you might know RJ.
I was just looking up RJ to confirm that he was 9. I thought he was 9. Randall's 30.
Yes, Randall's 30. Do you know what number Quick is?
No. 13?
5.
You okay? Is Brunson 11? No,
Brunson's 11.
Oh, he took Frank's number.
You're improving a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I knew. No, I didn't.
What about?
I didn't.
Okay, what about Oswaldo? He loves Oswaldo Cabrera.
It's something weird. It's 89 or something.
95.
Yeah, that's. You're getting up there. I knew even my favorite. I knew Jeter and A-Rod. But 2009, I knew every single player and all their stats from that year, or at least I could guess. Their numbers, no.
You could pick any current Yankee, just walking down the street, if they passed you by, you would recognize
Oh,
them.
absolutely. Literally every single one except maybe Nick Ramirez.
Yeah, but pretty much everyone.
Everyone other than him. Even Ian Hamilton, I could do him too. But I couldn't tell you any of their numbers other than Judge.
What about Rizzo?
No, not even close. 40s something?
Yeah, I think 48.
Okay, yeah. What's Cole before we get into this? I don't know. 40? No. Just tell me it.
It's in the 40s.
45?
Yeah, nice.
All right, cool.
Cole 45 and something zigzag.
I think it's 2 zigs. Cole 45? Yeah, 2 zigzags.
Baby, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I had a cool shirt that said Coal Train, and it had the 4 or 5 like subways, but they were baseballs.
That is a cool shirt. Do you still have it?
Somewhere.
Okay.
I got it at Dick's.
Yeah, moving on past my number issues.
Do you have anything else on the Derby, the Dobby?
Deep rooted. My one big thing is about baseball as a whole, so I won't go into it too much. But I mean, I guess I could get into it now unless you have more on housekeeping.
I have just a little. Like the MLB draft was the other day. Paul Skeens was an LSU pitcher. He went first overall to Pittsburgh, and I was reading a little bit about that, and just like he's apparently the top guy, so it was pretty much chalk. But the interesting thing that I was reading about was apparently MLB teams are slightly reluctant to take pitchers that high just because of injury history, but a combination of him being pretty close to pro ready, and they said that like really the only way for the Pirates to get an ace is through the draft, which I thought was interesting. I mean, they did it with Cole.
And yeah, I think Mitch Keller is an all-star this year for them, or was an all-star. He's one of their pitchers, but they drafted and developed him. I think the reluctance to take pitchers high is, I mean, it definitely exists because there were so few taken in the first round. It was like very heavily positioned players, but it's high school pitchers specifically because there's so much risk for regression and there's so much variability in their development that like they're just. And there was a time where they were just hammering away high school pitching prospects who could throw hard, just going real high, and then not panning out. So I think the trend of that is gone. But this kid, as they're saying, is the best pitching prospect since Strasburg, who his first game as a major leaguer he had probably the most electric stuff I've ever seen from a starter.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
It was like must-see TV. Yeah,
right?
yeah. His curveball had like 15 inches of break. It was disgusting. But this kid, they're saying, I don't know how true it is, but they were talking about how he could only be in the minors for like 1 year, maybe even less.
Yeah, I saw he is going to be like an early favorite to win Rookie of the Year after next season, like whenever he would come up.
Yeah,
so pretty soon, yeah.
And then his teammate was drafted right below him, which is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and so they said he would have been
1-1, like a lot of other drafts.
Pretty much. So pretty cool.
I also have, there was a prep school catcher drafted in the top 10. Apparently that's super rare too.
Okay.
And I have no idea how the draft works in baseball because there's 1,000 picks every round.
Well, there's a lottery now. I don't know if it's like 1 through 10 or 1. I don't know how it works. But
I know there's like competitive balance rounds and stuff like that. But like there's like round 1 and then competitive balance round 1A.
Yeah. And now they're giving picks out for guys who call up their young players and like if they win awards, you get an extra pick.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's incentivizing more youth, but it's just like MLB just makes shit up.
It's crazy. Just how could you possibly call it the first round? That's my thing. Just do like compensatory round.
Yeah, I guess, but it's higher than the second round.
Yeah, but you could do it like.
I guess you could label it differently.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be round 1.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's like every team is making their third pick, which obviously doesn't happen. Chiefsaholic arrested in California.
Saw that.
Suspected of stealing almost $1 million from banks across the Midwest. That's all I have on that.
I didn't know. I didn't follow him when he was like a Twitter account. I know a lot of people did, and he was like pretty, like had a decent following. But I know him now as the bank robber.
Werewolf.
Yeah, more than I did ever as a Twitter account. But I mean. I was going to say good for him, but not good for him. Very bad for him, in fact.
Now bad for him.
I guess good for him to have that following and to have that money for a short period of time, but bad for him that he's arrested now. And
you know what I wonder, though? If you're a super fan, like a true super fan, dress in costume, go to every game, every tailgate, your end goal is probably just live in like within the lore of the franchise, right?
That's true, and I guess his name's tied to that now forever
Yeah.
as a Chiefs addict.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So
That's
I mean,
pretty cool, I guess, yeah. That's all you can ask for.
I mean, that's just what I'm assuming their mindset is.
It was like the guys who get like the really bad tattoos in advance of a championship that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Like Timberwolves 2023-24 finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been like people have to learn. Now people are just doing it for the fame now.
You know what the OG, not OG with that in the sense of like this is the first one, but I feel like the original dynasty of premature tattoos was Kentucky basketball.
Really? I didn't know that.
I just feel like I used to see a lot of Kentucky basketball premature title tats.
I feel like I've seen a lot of Celtics ones.
Yeah, definitely that's up there too. Yeah.
I don't know if that was from way back, but at least lately, that's been a very common one.
I guess knocking on the door for like 5-6 years drives people insane into the tattoo parlor.
Yeah, it drives people to do very bad things.
That was cryptic.
Well, you saw Chiefsaholic after he dealt with Alex Smith for all those years. He robbed a bank. Multiple banks. Serial bank robber.
Oh, he was like going around the Midwest robbing banks so that he could like be a Chiefs super fan.
That actually makes the story cooler.
Oh yeah, no, like he's definitely gonna live in Chiefs history.
Yeah. Well, do you think he won't end up on their Wikipedia page. Well, he might have his own.
He might. If not, I might put him on the Chiefs Wikipedia page.
Do you know how to edit Wikipedia pages? Doesn't it require like coding?
Well,
I tried
like
once before.
to build one, but if you just want to throw in like a sentence,
you can just write it in there.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to link it to anything because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well.
That is all I have for housekeeping. Do you have anything else?
No. I guess I'll just get into my one big thing because I mentioned it earlier.
Cool.
So it's about the MLB's failures to market their players. And this isn't a Mike Trout discussion because some guys just don't want to be marketed in that way or like don't care to do the press and don't put themselves out there. But the MLB has more young, up-and-coming, exciting talent than, I don't want to say ever before, but than in recent memory. The Ellie De La Cruzes of the world, J-Rod, even like Volpe is very hyped and very fun to watch. There's the entire Reds team pretty much is fun. But so there's all these guys, then there's all these top prospects in the minors that people, so they just had the MLB Future Stars game, right? Did you know that happened?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But knowing that the Home Run Derby was tonight, I assumed it had happened.
But it's not a part of All-Star Weekend, really. They don't even advertise it as a part of All-Star Weekend. It's basically just like a minor league All-Star game that they invite either high performers or high prospects. Like I know Jason Dominguez, I think, went the last 2 years. I'm not sure if he was there this year, but it's ridiculous that it's not a part of All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, how does that make any sense?
It could be, but even if it is, it's not advertised as such. It's treated as its own separate thing. Like, the MLB they have the Rising Stars game. It used to be the rookie sophomore game. Now they have
NBA, you mean?
The NBA has the it used to be the rookie sophomore game, and now they do the international versus US team. Yeah, and I don't understand why. Like, can't they just hire someone from the NBA's marketing department to figure it out? Like, I understand baseball is much more of a regional sport than basketball is, and it will never rise to the level of national prominence that basketball has. But there's ways to market it so much better. Even we were talking about this earlier, and I know they'd never do it, and we said this earlier, and I don't know why, but like a stolen base competition of some sort or a speed competition at All-Star Weekend, like they do the Home Run Derby. So if they're taking full, like bigger hacks than they would even in a game, that risk of injury is just as high as a stolen base competition, you would think, right?
I would.
So why wouldn't, or like some sort of skills competition, like back in the day, I remember it was a huge deal when Vlad Sr. and I think Ichiro could both throw it from home plate over the outfield walls. I would love to see the farthest throw competition. That would be sick.
They do it on like a football field or something.
Yeah, like there are so many more ways to market the game and grow the game and show the personalities.
Look at the NHL. The NHL does it. They put on an awesome All-Star weekend.
Exactly.
It's a little corny, but still, so what?
The MLB All-Star game itself is probably the best of the All-Star games in terms of competition because I think that all the players take it fairly seriously. I liked when it had the stakes of home field advantage in the World Series because it made the game matter. But I don't like that it was deciding something so important.
I was gonna say I liked it while it was happening, and then hated it by the time the consequences rolled around.
So I wish there was and like the NBA does it where they donate it to the charities, but like then they just end up donating it to all the charities anyway. So it doesn't matter again. There needs to be some way to put significance on the game without it deciding World Series home field advantage. Like there's got to be other ways, even if it's a monetary incentive, like what basketball's doing with their new in-season tournament. I don't want to step on if you're going to talk about that later, but it's just the MLB is like if they tied in the draft with All-Star Weekend and the stolen base competition and the Future Stars game and made it all one thing, even if it was 3 innings of the Future Stars versus MLB players. 3 innings. And you just, that way, everyone gets an at-bat guaranteed. That would be a ton of fun.
That would be.
Right? And it'd be a good way to showcase all the young talent because no one cares about the draft. And they don't care about the draft unless you have the top pick, which the Pirates have had basically for my entire life.
Or the Astros.
Or the Astros for a long time there, you're right. So it's if you somehow manage to make it relevant because the players either so many don't pan out or they never make it to the big leagues, so it's not even worth caring about their development except the top ones, right? But there needs to be a way to make it so people care. And MLB, by making the games shorter, by trying to make there more action, by doing all that, is helping, but it's not enough. There needs to be more, and I'm not talking about putting Mookie Betts in more commercials. You know, I feel like I've been seeing more highlights than ever because of Ellie, because he's so electric. But like,
it's like the Puig effect.
It is like the Puig effect. It's exactly, but it shouldn't take one super electric player to get people interested, and then hopefully he pans out a little more than Puig does. But
yeah,
like, there's ways to do it, and they're not doing them, and I don't really understand why. I mean, and also, not to go on a tangent, but yesterday when the Yankees were, or 2 days ago, whenever the Yankees were on their rain delay and we wanted to put on the Mets game, couldn't even put it on. And we're in New York, and we couldn't put it on.
Why couldn't we put it on?
It wasn't available.
Oh, I thought we just couldn't find it.
No, I checked. I did the little score guide thing, and I went to the game, and it said no channels available.
Wow, okay. That's bad.
So I ended up putting on Fast 5, because it's the most electric franchise of all time. And I would have put on a Mets game. I'm not even a Mets fan, but I couldn't.
It's also pretty crazy that All-Star Weekend was taking place during the season.
Well, yeah, and then you put the biggest events on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why we record on Mondays? Now I can't watch it. Just put it on a Friday or a Saturday even.
Yeah, no, the fact that it's not on a Friday, Saturday, or a Saturday, Sunday like every other league does,
it's a total failure. It's a total failure, and that's like the scheduling department. Like, how on earth do you mess that up?
I know, it's like totally fixable.
You cut out the one last series before the All-Star game, and there it is.
Yeah. I just looked it up. Do you know where you had to go to watch the Futures game?
It's probably like Yahoo Plus or something.
Peacock.
There you go.
Behind a paywall.
Yeah, always.
MLB is very behind on their promotion of the game, like you said. But also, they're just very antiquated kind of across everything they do. It's a big problem. Like, you're not going to... The NBA is the best at adapting with like current social trends, which include like uses of technology like Twitter to promote their product, and the MLB by comparison is just really not doing any of that.
No, it's lacking, and you see the individual teams take it into their own hands. Like I like the Yankees marketing department when they film the players and stuff, and it's because I'm so starved for content from the MLB and I can't get it without watching the games. Like, it's just a shame. I think, with the exception of the hitting problem, which is pervasive, and the lack of hitting is, if the game was going to die, it's because the hitting is not good enough. Josh Donaldson's hitting 150. Guys like that can't be in MLB lineups, and they are across the league. It's almost the opposite of expansion, and they need to shrink down or expand and have young guys coming up sooner or something. There needs to be
change the lower the mound.
Lower the mound, move it back. There needs to be a change for that. That will kill the game. But otherwise, in terms of talent, in terms of excitement, and in terms of prospects and like kids coming up and playing the game and being fun, there's more of that than ever, I would say. And the MLB just doesn't seem to care.
Do you think that if they drastically changed the rules and every game was like 8-7 final score, would you enjoy that, or would you think it ruined the game?
Well, it doesn't need to be so drastic. I don't know. It's a very fine line.
What do you think like an okay average runs per game number is to keep like the public entertained?
Combined or?
Yeah, combined. Like a total.
8.
Okay.
I feel, or 7 or 8, somewhere in that range. 4-3 I feel like is a good game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
6-1, 5-2, I feel good about that. But when it's 2-0, what we get shut out 2-0 the other day. We had 2 total hits.
3-0 by the Cubs.
I was thinking by the Cubs. Tyone held us to 2 hits, or 1 hit, even, because Franchi got his 1 in the 9th inning. So our only hit against the starter who pitched into the 8th was in the 1st inning. That's 8 innings with no hits. That is horrible. And so it's just like there needs to be more. And marketing it more helps for sure. Having the home run derby be known by all helps. Even if it's like putting it on podcasts. That's how I hear about a lot of things, is on podcasts, on podcast ads. MLB, if you want to advertise on our podcast, I will gladly let that happen. So just figure it out. That's all. I just want them to figure it out. I love baseball. I always have. I wasn't very good at it. I was all right at it, but I love it. And it's getting hard to watch at times. And I know the Yankees are awful, so that hurts. And watching fun teams is probably a lot more fun, but there needs to be more.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So my big thing for this week is the in-season tournament. I think we kind of differ on like how this might play out or just be viewed, because I can very much see a world where like an in-season tournament title actually holds some weight. And I think generally the vibe that I'm getting from not just you, but like from everybody pretty much, is that this is stupid and a waste. I think that there's a lot of years where the best team does not win the championship, like the finals. And I think there's going to be a lot of years where we look back and say, this was the best team. They had the best record in the regular season. They won the in-season tournament. Maybe like Giannis falling and hurting his back kept them from winning a title, something like that. I think that there's a lot of I think it's really hard to win a championship. So winning one in season, even though it seems like nothing now, might hold some weight. I could definitely see a world where it impacts resumes, like throwing out a hypothetical, because we've discussed the legacies already of these two guys. Let's say Jokic and Giannis both finish with 3 finals. Let's say they both finish with 3 MVPs, a negligible difference in all NBA teams, like 9-8 or something like that. And let's say Jokic has 2 in-season tournaments, and Giannis has 0. That's just gonna swing discussions or be like debate points at some point. Like, I think we both know the NBA too well to know that that's not gonna happen in like 20 years. I think that people already complain about meaningless December and November games where stars are sitting out. So like giving this kind of some importance at least is like a welcome change. So I don't know why people are so up in arms and adamant that this is unnecessary.
It's just different.
Yeah.
People hated the play-in game before it happened, and now people love the play-in game.
People love the play-in game.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I think it is hard to make it have significance. I think it will have significance when it gets into those sorts of discussions, and I'm sure there will be first take discussions. How does this impact so-and-so's legacy? But we won't be able to feel that until we see it. I just think right now it's too abstract and people don't even really understand how it works. The NBA hasn't really done a great job of putting it out there and explaining it in ways people can understand. I think the reason you are so open to it and why I'm not closed to it is because we like soccer, and these sorts of tournaments happen in soccer. Like, in every league, they have like 4 of them, and then there's the Champions League, you know? So it's... And they all have significance. Like, even, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup? That's probably... Even still, even still, though, you want to win it.
100%.
So, I don't disagree. I don't necessarily think it's dumb. I just... For right now, I'm kind of in a wait-and-see mode, I would say.
It's going to depend on star buy-in, and it's going to be driven by fan discourse. And it's not going to happen in, 2 years, but I think... after 10, 15, 20 years of this, it will become such a mainstay and just accepted part of how the NBA functions that it's just going to be another finals-esque tournament. And I know it's way shorter, so the attrition needed to win isn't as much, which will probably take away from the significance a little bit for a lot of people. But it's hard for the best team to emerge at the end of any tournament across sports. And if the best team emerges at the end of this one, I think it's going to be held, I think it's going to matter.
I think it could matter in even less. I think it could be 3 years.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder if there's a way, again, this kind of goes back to my All-Star Game thoughts. It's I wonder if there's a way, even if it guarantees you a playoff spot or something, if they expanded the playoffs, because they're probably going to expand the NBA at some point. There's too many good players for them not to, and there's too much money to be made to not. So you expand the playoffs, you make it a 10-team playoff, and then either the 2 finalists get a spot or whoever wins gets an automatic bid, and then they work it out somehow. I think there could be something there. But I wonder if that would diminish the importance of it by only making it matter towards the real playoffs. But
I get what you're saying.
There's ways to expedite that process of making it matter. I do think it will matter because, the All-Star Game doesn't matter, but it does matter for legacy discussions. So
look, let's say the Warriors win the play-in tournament next year. Win the in-season tournament next year. Finish with a 3 seed in the West, which I don't think they're going to do, but then crash out in the second round of the playoffs again. You don't think Chris Paul is going to be fucking hyped to have an in-season tournament ring?
I don't. I think he's not a good example. I think.
Okay, what about I
think it would have to be
Harden or Barkley, or even Dirk. If Dirk had a finals and an in-season tournament ring, that changes his legacy a little bit. He's a 2 tournament winner guy now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think Chris Paul has been striving for the NBA championship for so long now that this tournament's not going to mean a thing to him.
That's fair.
But I sure as hell think LeBron's going to try his absolute hardest to win it.
Yeah. Jokic too, because Jokic just does that for everything.
Yeah,
it's
Jokic
his mentality.
Same with Giannis. I think, but LeBron is going to be thinking legacy.
Okay, so what about if this had existed 6-7 years ago, and the 2016-17 Thunder won?
Okay, go on.
Westbrook has an in-season tournament ring, and they finished with a really high record. They were up 3-1 on the Warriors and lost. I think that changes how we look at that team. I think people would be left being are we 100% sure the Warriors were the best team? I know they had the best regular season record ever, so it might seem crazy to say.
It might change the discussion, but I don't think anyone ever underrated those Thunder teams. I think people expected them to win at least. It was a failure for them not to win a championship.
No, I'm just saying specifically that year, people look at it, and because the Warriors had such a good year and ended up losing to the Cavs, people are like, oh, the Warriors, definitely the best team that year. The Cavs kind of got lucky for a lot of different reasons. But if the Thunder had that on them, and then we're also had them on the ropes in the playoffs, we might be looking at it. The gap might seem a little closer. So I'm just saying,
it adds intrigue to the discussion.
Yeah, or the Rockets team that had the Warriors on the ropes.
Well, that was just
That was a Chris Paul hamstring freak injury. Not even freak, because it's Chris Paul's hamstring.
That was before he went vegan.
Was it?
Yeah. That was when he was having all those injuries. Then he went
cool.
vegan. He stopped having as many.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm not a vegan, so I'm not advocating for it. It's a fun fact.
It is.
Yeah.
That's going on the tally.
Mm.
So that's basically what I had on that. I think it's cool. It's a welcome change. It's taking meaningless games that people already complain about and packaging them with a pretty bow. So
I think it's a short term. People are gonna think it's stupid for long term. Pretty major gain.
I agree. I'm surprised people even think it's stupid now. It's one of those things
It's
that
change.
I think
People hate change. People hate change, and people hate things they don't understand.
I hate change.
And me too. But people are very also short-sighted. So they're seeing what's right in front of them. They're like, why do we need this? We already have whatever. They're not able to see, what is it? They're the forest for the trees or whatever.
It's like something like that.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
Don't lose the forest for the trees.
Yeah, whatever it is. So it seems stupid because it's different and they don't understand it yet. And they haven't seen it. It's hard to understand things in abstract. Even the play-in tournament, like, people didn't get it. I think some people still don't get it.
I didn't get it until like the games happened and I saw
Exactly.
who plays who when.
Exactly. So it's until it is right in front of them and happening, and honestly, until someone's team wins it. Because once someone's team wins it, they're going to be fighting tooth and nail that it matters.
You think there's going to be a ticker tape parade down the Canyon of Heroes?
No.
Avenue of Heroes?
No, I don't. Maybe one day, but no.
Not yet.
No. It's still the ultimate goal. Because it's not the Champions League.
No, I know.
It is like the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Do they get a parade?
It's a pretty big deal winning that.
But do they get a parade?
I don't even know if they get a parade for the.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do.
League,
right? Champions League's a big deal. It's
the biggest deal. Pretty much.
So I don't know. People will care. People will care. They might not care right now, but they will care.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
It is cool that it's on Tuesdays and Friday nights, like specifically.
That is cool because then you know what you're tuning into.
Yeah. That is like the Champions League.
I just went into an entire thing about why the MLB should be more like the NBA. I trust the NBA implicitly with almost everything they do.
Yeah, I'm in that boat with you. That's pretty much all I have on that, though, unless you have anything else.
No, I think people will grow to like it. That's all I got.
So for this week's meet, we are going to be doing a draft, like I mentioned earlier, of the coolest sports video game covers of all time. So I think last week you had the first pick, so I will go first this week. And with my first pick in the Breaks Down Podcast 2023 video game coolest covers draft, I'm going to take NFL Street 2 with Jeremy Shockey laying out to pull down a one-handed snag over Exhibit.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much cooler than that. I'm certain that was on your list somewhere.
It is. It's on my list. And especially because it's Shockey, too.
Yeah.
Except it looks nothing like him.
No.
Minus the hair and the Giants jersey, it could be anyone.
It looks like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, literally. it could be anyone. But Exhibit is clear as day that it's Exhibit. Yeah, that's a very good pick. It's on here. I wouldn't have gone there yet, but I do like the pick. So, on to my pick.
Yeah. And then you have two now.
Oh, I do have two. You're right. Okay. I'm going to go with NBA 2K12, the MJ cover.
I like
where
that
it's got the
one a lot.
red splatter all around him, and that's when they had the MJ specific mode, and that was a huge thing for 2K, and that was really cool. And that was back when 2K was still good. So that's my first pick.
Quick tangent. You know what they have that I think is new to this 2K?
What?
They have, for franchise mode, you can do eras. So you could go into like the Magic Bird era, the MJ era, the Kobe LeBron era, and then like current. So that's a little cool.
That is cool. They do cool stuff like that. But that's about it.
Yeah.
That's all I can give them. If the gameplay was better, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I just have no fun playing the game. So for my second pick, I know, there's two here. I could go either way. I think I might leave it up to the gods and hope that you don't take one of them. So I'm going to go with another NBA game. I'm going to do NBA Street Volume 2, and which is actually another MJ cover. I didn't even realize that till just now. It's MJ, Dr. J, and Bonafide, who is a made-up character for the game. And do you know the cover? Are you familiar with it?
I do, yeah.
Okay,
I used to rip that game with my catty corner neighbor all the time.
It's one of like, I think, well known as one of the greatest games of all time. It is so good, and that cover is iconic. And I actually, it's Dr. J who makes that cover so iconic.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm jealous of that one.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna take one of them now.
Well, you're no,
that was my second.
Yeah, okay. Okay, for my second pick, I am gonna go with Mario Kart 64.
Wow. Okay.
I love that cover. It's got like the perfect balance of in-race action. You could see like Bowser and DK from the back, just like eyeing the leader of the race as Mario looks over his right shoulder with Wario like gaining on him.
It's a good cover.
Yeah, it's very well done. It's my favorite of the Mario Kart covers, and I wasn't even massive into that game. I mostly used to just rip it on my DS, I think. But yeah, that's gonna be my second pick.
I had Mario Kart Double Dash on as I wasn't gonna say it, but it's an honorable mention of mine. So you got another pick.
Oh, cool. Okay. For my third pick, how am I already on my third pick? I got so many left.
I know, I have so many. I'm panicking so hard. Please take some of mine so I don't feel bad about it.
Okay, for my third pick, I'm going to go with NBA 2K20 Legend Edition with Dwayne Wade on the cover. It's like a Miami Vice theme with him on South Beach. I think it's so sick, and I bought it just for that digitally, so I never saw it.
Never got
not
to see
once. I almost got the poster for my dorm room just because I thought it was like really cool.
It is cool.
So that's my third pick.
Okay.
Shout out D Wade, Bulls legend.
That is a good pick. So do I? No, you have another pick or no? I have. How's
you have
one pick?
Two
picks.
I close, right?
So I have my two.
We are so bad at this.
I know. I never can do this right.
Yeah, because we're doing five.
I have two. Then I have three.
Then I have two.
Four,
then you have one.
And then you have one.
You have three right now. 3, 4.
Then you
I have 4, 5.
And
then you have 5.
So I close it.
You close.
Okay,
it.
that makes sense. Okay, sorry everyone. We do.
Let's leave that in.
We do this every time. I know. I'm going. We do it every time. We are so. And are you writing them down at least?
No.
Okay. We never do either. Okay. Oh God. I am so torn because cool is so subjective. That's my problem right now. I'm gonna go with NFL Blitz.
Ooh, that's good.
With Cordell Stewart on the cover. And it's the lightning is striking the football and everything. It is an unbelievable. I'll just pull it up so you have it right there.
Yeah, that's really cool. We were just talking about Colorado legend.
Mm-hmm. So that one credit to my brother. He was my ringer who I called in to ask for some inspiration, brother? Chris.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Chris Guest.
Because he had these on tap. He had rattled off like 15 of them. I had a bunch of them. He's the one person I knew would have it without having to look it up. Like you could have called him like Steve, but he would know
that would
like
no help.
Nothing. He wouldn't know a single thing.
Just the current show, probably.
Yeah, and he probably still would barely know it.
You have one more, right?
I know I do. Yeah, I've got one more. So I've got 2 basketball and a football. Okay. I am going to go... I don't want to go too obscure here. I'm going to go... All right. I'm going to go Backyard Baseball 2005. And that one is partially because of the game itself, which was unreal, and you could play with all of the pros as well as the like the Pablo Sanchez's of the world, but it had A-Rod on the cover in both his card and 3D
that's
form,
awesome.
and it was as a Yankee, and backyard baseball is a mainstay in my house, and so I was gonna go with the OG cover, but because of my love for A-Rod, I went with 05.
That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, thank you. I
Backyard baseball went stupid good.
so good, dude.
Yeah.
I want to still play it now.
Can you not?
I can, but I'd probably have to buy it again. It'd probably be like $500 from a reseller or something. But
It costs a crazy amount to play any of the old NCAA football games too.
Yeah, so that's my my fourth pick.
I have two more.
You
left.
have two, and then I have one.
All right. So I am gonna go for my fourth pick with NBA 2K9. The cover is Kevin Garnett, mean mugging, with the finals patch on his jersey.
You know what's funny is in my research for this, trying to recall some of the ones I've forgotten, there was a ranking of, I think it was the last 20 2K covers, and that was dead last.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I hated it. They hated it. Whoever
Dude,
wrote the article
what?
hated it. Yeah, dead last.
That's so wrong.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah. I know. I like the cover.
I love Kevin Garnett, so maybe that's a little biased, but with the finals patch, you could tell they tried to go for the anything is possible kind of vibe. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. No, I'd
like to have this writer that had them last on,
okay.
so that I can humiliate him into realizing how wrong he is.
Maybe we can swing that somehow.
Package it differently when you reach out to him.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so we can make you feel dumb. It would be,
you're dumb. Let us acknowledge that.
yeah. Let us acknowledge your stupidity. But yeah, good pick. I like the pick. I like the cover.
And then for my last pick, I'm gonna go with Madden 97.
Okay.
It's Coach John Madden doing one of these, and he's got his Super Bowl ring right here.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the ones with Madden on, I was really close to picking the one where he was in the booth with the headset, but I thought the point right into the camera with the glitter was just too good to pass up.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with one of those with Coach Madden on it, but I also thought for sure you were gonna go Madden 04 with Vic on the cover.
It's an honorable mention.
Okay, because that was the one that I don't want to take it now that I've announced it though. We'll keep that as an honorable mention of mine. But that was the one I thought for sure you were gonna take. That was the one.
It was my favorite Madden.
I know. It's one
was
of the
8 when that came out. I think 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic Maddens that there ever was. But so here's where it gets tricky. I have so many left.
I think that was my first sports game. Sorry to interrupt. I was just running my brain around that.
First one you ever played?
First one I ever owned.
So I could go obscure here, but you've had a really good draft. I don't feel as good about winning this one as I have in the past.
I think you're still going to win.
Because of backyard baseball?
I liked a lot of your picks.
I think, but this one I'm so torn on it. Because it's a game that not many people played, but it has such significance in my life. Let me just take a 1-second pause and confirm something really quick. Because if this isn't the game that I think it is, then if I pick it, it will
ruin your reputation.
Yeah, my reputation as a video game knower. I'm very famous for that. I can't, let me find the frickin', what's that guy's name? Okay, it is this one. This is what I thought. Alright, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go, it's Fight Night Round 4.
I gotta look this up.
It's, on the cover is Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson.
That's cool.
And it's I would say one of the best boxing games of all time. It could be the best.
Oh, that's an awesome cover.
Yeah, really sick. And to have those two together, it put it over the top for me. And I remember as a kid, times were just different back then, So I would watch my brother play video games all the time. That was the thing to do. And I watched him play Fight Night Round 4. I swear it must have been for weeks, just trying to beat this final boss. And it has such a imprint in my brain that I will never forget exactly how Isaac Frost, that's his name. I know exactly what he looks like, and it was like video games were harder back then. So, yes, that is Isaac Frost. And it took him so long, and I remember exactly when he beat him. And shout out Chris, he's had a very prominent role in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fight Night Round 4. You got 2 goats on the cover. It's hard to beat that, and it's cool.
It's very cool.
Very well done. All right, now I think
EA hasn't changed the font for their fighting video games at all.
No, the EA is not very creative, I would say, a lot of the time.
No.
But all right, now I think it's borderline. Let's get into the more fun part, which might just be the honorable mentions. You wanna go back and forth with them?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I had Madden 10 with Palomalo and Larry Fitzgerald.
I had that. Then I had NCAA March Madness 2004,
nice.
Which was Melo, and in the background is Melo cutting down the net, which is pretty sick to have on a cover. I feel like I've never seen that before.
No, me neither.
So that was actually a tier 1 pick that I was going to go with if I didn't go Fight Night. But I'd already taken 2 NBA covers, so I didn't want to, diversify.
I had NCAA Football 10 with Tebow.
I had that on there too.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, I love Tebow. I've got MLB The Show 15 with which had Puig on the cover.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Honestly, it's probably the coolest cover that I didn't say. It deserves to be in museums. How cool it is.
Oh, it's sick. Yeah, I remember that one. I had that on PS Vita. Is that possible?
Yeah, maybe. But it's probably maybe one of the most well done covers I've ever seen. It is so cool. With the color, with just the blues. That's so sick.
I had NBA 2K4 with Allen Iverson going like this.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a string of Allen Iverson covers.
Yeah, that was a good one. I had that one in my honorable mentions. I had MLB The Show 17, which was Ken Griffey Jr.'s cover, and they have his gold signature on there. It's really sick. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely. I'll just pull it up for you. But
I also had Tiger Woods PGA Tour 99 mid fist pump.
This is the cover.
That's dope. I've never seen that.
Yeah. I had another Tiger Woods game on there. It was 2010, and the picture was of him from the U.S. Open. He birdied 18 to force a playoff, which he then won to win a major.
Oh, that's cool. What year was that?
2008.
Okay, cool. I had NHL 20 with Austin Matthews on the cover, just because I really like Austin Matthews. He's one of my favorite players ever.
I liked that game.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
But was that a cool cover?
It was very basic, but I like the purple and the blue mix.
NHL 20?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The purple's cool. I had multiple FIFAs in here that I didn't say. I had FIFA 04 with, or maybe it was 03. Yeah, sorry, FIFA 03, which is this cover.
Oh, that's cool.
Which had Edgar Davids and Ryan Giggs and Roberto Carlos, and it's just like very simple but very cool. I don't know. Do you have a bunch more? I've got so many more.
I got FIFA World Cup 2010.
Great game.
Yeah, great game. There were a few different covers, so that's why it wasn't on like my main list.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one that had like the World Cup trophy just in a stadium with flags everywhere. It's this one.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that one was sick.
I actually
regret not putting that on my list.
I honestly don't know if I had that game, but I know I played it extensively at our friend Matt's house.
Awesome game.
I just always played it at his house. So, I've got Slugfest, which was another A-Rod cover.
Slugfest.
Yeah, I didn't take that one, and I had MVP Baseball with Manny on the cover. That was when MVP Baseball was like the baseball game, and it's a simple cover, but it's a very iconic game. I think it had a 6 soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, I've seen that a bunch.
Yeah, it's like a very, very famous cover. And like I said, Mario Kart Double Dash. I had FIFA Street 1 and 2. 1 had Ronaldinho. I think he's just doing a little something or other. Which one? This one. He's doing a little bicycle kick.
Yeah.
And then the second one was it's CR7, which I almost picked just because I love him, but the fact that he's wearing sneakers pissed me off. I know it's FIFA Street, but it looked weird. And
it does look really weird.
Why is his shoe so big? It's just poor use of perspective. So, but I think I played that on the DS actually.
I had NBA 2K8 with Chris Paul and the Hornets. I thought that one was really cool.
I think that was that might have been last. Kevin Garnett was second last. Yeah.
Whoever did this list is just the worst. He's the Jamarcus Russell of this list.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all.
Ridiculous, man.
I had Madden 10, like you said, Palomalu and Fitzgerald. I had 16 with Odell, and
that one is good.
Yeah. If it was they should have done it with the actual, trying to replicate the actual catch, because that's why he was on the cover, and it was just like another one-handed catch. If it was the actual catch that he's most famous for, I think it would have been up there. And
I was at that game.
I knew that.
I was in Elijah's suite, which is right next to the broadcasters. Mm-hmm. So, it happened. We had an unbelievable view. I'll never forget. And I look to my right, and I just see Chris Collinsworth,
stunned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he just catch that?
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I said it, but I had Gronk, his cover.
17?
Yeah, the spike.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's iconic, and he's doing, I don't like it when they're just sitting there.
Yeah, it's just the Sherman one.
The Sherman one where his hand is out. It's just you could have done way more.
The Brady and Mahomes one. Actually sitting.
Literally just sitting there. The AB one where he's just kind of standing there. It's they can do cooler things. And, NCAA Basketball 10 with Blake Griffin on the cover.
I almost had the 2K with Blake Griffin on the cover. Blake Griffin, KD, and Rose.
You like that cover?
Yeah, I like that cover.
I thought it was all right. I didn't love it.
I loved those players at the time, all of them.
I don't know if that's the one. That might not be the one I'm thinking of.
KD was my favorite player at the time. It's the three of them.
Isn't there one with
full body?
Isn't there one with Steph, Blake Griffin, and someone else?
Yeah, I think so. I'll pull up the one I'm talking about.
All right, yeah, you pull up that one. I'll pull up. The fact that Steph hasn't had an actual cover is pretty ridiculous.
I didn't know he didn't. I kind of thought he did. It's this one. It was the one produced by Jay-Z.
Oh, that one's better than the one I'm thinking of. I think it's. Oh yeah, it's Steph, Harden, and Anthony Davis. That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
That one kind of stinks, but that one's way cooler. I like that one.
I think so.
Yeah, you're right. That was a good one.
That's pretty much all I have for that, though.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. I had a bunch of FIFAs, but then I had the one with CR7 that I really wanted to pick, the FIFA 18.
That's sick.
That one's really cool. But I didn't think the fans, the viewing audience, would love that one. But yeah, that's about it.
Do you want to do awards?
Yeah, let's do awards. Sorry if we geeked out a little bit there, but this is exciting stuff, and I did a ton of research on it, trying to remember ones that I'd forgotten. And there's not a list of this. This doesn't exist. I tried to find it in every Google iteration I could think of, and I had to do individual franchises, and I wanted to do a couple of Tony Hawk covers, but I didn't think they were. Pro Skater 2 is probably the people's favorite, right? But I thought American Wasteland had the coolest cover, but I don't think everyone liked that game. But I really liked Underground, so I'm going to do Underground, but the cover wasn't as cool. So let's move on to awards.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Sure. This one is the Dodge the Bullet Award. It's going to 2 parties.
Dodge the Bullet
One
award.
Party dodged the bullet. The other party is the bullet being dodged.
This is probably some kind of trade or free agent signing that went awry.
Yep.
After.
Or just wasn't accepted.
The Dodge the Bullet Award. Ooh.
I'll give you a hint because it's not totally pressing. It's not a signing or trade that was from this offseason. But it involves a player who was playing in Summer League.
Is this the Knicks not taking Jaden Ivey?
That is exactly what this
Nice!
is. Good
Let's
job,
go.
dude. Holy hell. I did not think you'd get that. It was the Knicks trade for Ivy not getting accepted. They were going to give it like 3 first-round picks. And I watched a lot, like more Pistons Summer League than I wanted to.
He's
and
bad.
He hasn't looked good at
No.
all. He really can't shoot at all, and
He looks unnatural.
he does. He looks uncomfortable. He looks like Markelle Fultz when he came back.
Yeah, it's like should be really concerning for Pistons fans.
It is, and it's weird. His athleticism was his calling card, and he just looked like a normal athlete out there. I don't know. He looked better at times last year, but second-year guys who played significant minutes in their first year, you expect them to dominate, and he just didn't. Like, you saw Jabari Smith. He had, like, 36 both games, and the game-winning buzzer beater in one of them. Like, he was dominant. You expect that from high-end prospects playing in their second year of Summer League, and he looked bad. Even, like, Jalen Duren looked good, and not good.
Yeah, no, he couldn't shoot. He looked determined to prove he could shoot.
Yeah,
He
no.
was failing miserably, and it looked like his confidence was shaken. Like, very worrying.
It is, for sure. The Knicks dodged the bullet by that trade not getting accepted, and then in turn then signing Brunson.
The hint was a huge help.
I know.
It didn't give it away, I don't think.
I don't think the listener would have guessed it.
No, I'm proud of myself for getting it.
Yeah, I thought it was just vague enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my first award is I'm not really super proud of the name,
Okay.
so I might, if it's okay with you, I'll just describe it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the intern walking around the city like a CEO award, and it's going for somebody that is just presenting this like aura,
So you're just giving me the reason.
kind of. I mean,
Okay.
I can not, but I don't think you're gonna get there without it because I poorly named it.
I assumed it was someone holding themselves out to be. It's what is bench players talking like starters. I hate it. That was how I kind of
See,
imagined.
that was what makes the most sense, but it's not exactly that. It's
Okay.
like, look at this guy. This isn't as serious as he's treating it. He's got this aura, and it's just like a little weird for everybody else.
Is it Pete Alonso?
Yes,
Yeah.
nice!
Oh my goodness.
Let's go!
Oh, he startled me. Yeah, because once you said it's weird, that's what I knew.
We're on a roll.
It's weird how serious he takes the whole
Yes,
Yeah.
he's like sitting. He wants to be filmed sitting in his locker, like
meditating.
locked in.
It's
yeah.
weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. I remember last year it made me uncomfortable. I was writing in our chat that like he thinks this makes him cool, but it doesn't. It
Yeah.
does quite the opposite.
Yeah, he's doing that like I'm just like here to crush home runs act.
Yeah,
like
but it's the opposite. Like
you
it's
can
not
feel how hard he's trying. It radiates.
the opposite is Larry Bird walking into the 3-point contest and saying who's coming in second and then winning while wearing his sweatpants.
Yeah.
Like that is
That's
cool.
ice cold.
Yeah, what Pete Alonso's doing is just like, dude, you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I think there may be an award titled with someone who's trying too hard. It could be just the trying too hard award, but then it's not
Try
really
hard
creative.
award,
Yeah. So now I almost think I made this. This is either going to be way too obvious or not obvious. No, it's too obvious. Oh, it's going to be a bad award.
If you want like a minute to reformulate, I can go with my second.
I am afraid that it's going to taint our streak because it's too obvious.
Word. Okay.
You know, because we're on a real roll right now. So I don't want to mess it up by giving you a softball. So, let me think. All right, I'll just give it. Screw it. I've let my intentions be known. You all know this isn't fraudulent. It's the Anthony Volpe Award.
Okay, so this is going to just like a high prospect or like.
Okay, so it's not too obvious. We're good. No, it's less on the nose. It's I don't.
Does it have to do with chicken parm?
Do you want what kind of answer do you want? Because my answer might give you the answer.
Is it like somebody that was struggling and was helped by somebody that is not his job to figure these things out?
It's kind of the inverse.
Okay, so I can guess who it's going to.
Yeah, you know who it's going to.
It's going to the Yankees' old hitting coach, whose name I don't know.
Dylan Lawson, yeah.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's
So
if I told you chicken parm, you would have known. That's who. Yeah.
So then the reason is probably by deduction, some dude that was just totally incompetent in his job, and Anthony Volpe is like a pretty shining example of the incompetence because he was helped by a minor league teammate.
You went in circles. I think you went in too many circles. It's just Anthony Volpe is him coming out and with the I was going to do the chicken parm award, but I thought that was too obvious. But it's Anthony Volpe coming out and being like, oh yeah, at my chicken parm dinner with my buddy, we were watching film and I fixed my swing. That if you think that didn't lead to Dylan Lawson losing his job, there's for sure point A to point B. That definitely, everyone was like, oh, what a fun story. And then the more you think about it, you're like, that's not a fun story. My hitting coach isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And so I was either going to do the Chicken Farm Award, the Sacrificial Lamb Award, because it's just Cashman buying time, basically, to keep his job.
That's what I want to take a moment to recognize that this is a turning point in the Cashman era. We're going to look back on this and be like, this is where he started to lose the room.
This is a turning point in not only Cashman, but also Boone. I think
they're a package deal.
I think they're a package deal. I think this is basically a clear acknowledgement that we're not hitting. And the reason we're not hitting is maybe Dylan Lawson played a role in it, but it's also roster construction.
It's because the players suck.
It's because the players he brought in are aging or just not performing, and it's an organizational thing. It could just so I don't know. I think this is a big moment, and hopefully, honestly, I pray to God that the new hitting coach, I can't remember his name right now, but he was an all-star, had a career 300 batting average, was a plus hitter on his career. Familiarity with Boone. Apparently, he's a very likable guy. Sean Casey. He'll fit in the dugout. Hopefully, he can impact winning in some way, and even if it's as simple as more of an old-school approach, because Lawson's whole thing is crush strikes in the zone, which in theory sounds good, but for some reason we've been taking strikes in the zone and not swinging at good pitches, and we're not.
We have for 7 years.
No, but we used to walk at least.
True.
We don't walk anymore either. So
no one has to worry about pitching carefully.
I know, and now we're just swinging early and missing good pitches, and then taking good pitches and not taking balls anymore. So it's hopefully there's, even if it's like a simple mental shift in an approach. I don't know. I hope there's some sort of change because it's real ugly.
It kind of feels a little bit like Trestman benching Jay Cutler, McAdoo benching Eli, just like
grasping at straws,
making moves that are very out of the ordinary for that franchise, or that, like, even Cashman in particular. Like, he's never fired a coach mid-season, right?
Never.
This is not something he would do if he didn't feel the heat on his seat.
I have actually, with the exception of Hal's little interview earlier when he said he didn't understand why the fans were upset, I think in recent years he's been better and more involved and shown more of an interest in winning, at least outwardly. I think him being booed at, I think it was Jeter's jersey retirement, I think he took that really bad, and because of that he wanted to show the renewed interest in winning. I think that last interview was bad and painted him in a bad light, but I guarantee you he's been in Cash's ear, like, if you don't fix this, you're gone. And I think...
You mean Hal?
Hal has been in Cash's ear.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I said?
I didn't know you were talking about Hal until you said that.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about Hal.
No, I agree. It seems like he's losing the room, and I don't mean the locker room. I mean the
ear of the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My second award is the Kawhi Leonard Award. It's not going to an athlete.
The Kawhi Leonard Award, but it's not going to an athlete. So it's not going to a person who's often injured.
No, not injured.
Okay.
Well, injuries have played a part in it, but it's more... It's a little more broad than injuries. It's like general unreliability at this stage of their career.
I have a weird guess, and and then I'll go into... I don't know why it would be this, but is it Stephen A?
No, it's not Stephen A.
Okay, I thought...
It's not going to somebody involved in sports.
It's going to someone not in sports
It's
who
like
is
very famous person though.
struggles with availability. Very famous person.
Very famous person.
Newly this famous, or always long time.
In the last 3 years has ascended to megastardom.
Is it Morgan Wallen?
Yeah, nice.
All right.
So Kawhi and Morgan Wallen kind of burst onto the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi won a Finals MVP in his second year by beating the Heatles.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Wallen has dropped 3 awesome, like all-time albums in his first 3, but recently has been canceling concerts, postponing shows, and part of that was because he's apparently damaged his vocal cords, so that's where the injury thing comes in. But at this point, started off super hot, really firmly established themselves as a top guy within the business, and now is not somebody you're super comfortable relying on for long-term plans. Like you would hesitate a little bit to book a whole trip centered around a Morgan Wallen concert now, the same way you would hesitate to book like a finals appearance out of the Clippers, or even like Kawhi being available for the postseason.
Yeah, I think he also canceled a show because he was too drunk one time. Yeah, that was why I went with, is it a newly famous star? Because I didn't. Yeah, okay. Did he cancel another show like real recently, or?
No, not that I know of in the last like few weeks or months.
But he's got
even.
that one banger though.
He's got like 100 bangers.
No, but
Last Night, is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, that Last Night hits though.
It does, yeah.
That song bangs. There's no other. I don't even like country like that. I like some country, but that song has. I don't know if it's missed yet.
No, never.
I'm not sure it ever will at this point.
That whole album is awesome.
I'm yet to listen to the whole album. I know that song.
It's really good. There's like 23 songs on the album.
I know like 22 of them were on the top 100 list. I'm not even kidding.
No, I believe you.
It was
they're all
some
over.
crazy statistic like that. But Last Night is...
When Joe breaks here, he will always play like music on that TV in there. And a lot of times he'll just rip like the top 100 US, and it's like half of it is Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
You know he played at Rutgers with one of the McCourties?
Oh, Joe D. Big Joe.
Lineman, yeah.
Yeah, I did know that.
That's
I thought we were
sick.
talking... I don't know why. I thought we were talking someone else. Yeah, Big Joe. Yeah, I
Very
knew that.
cool.
Yeah. Real good football player. But yeah, that's it for awards.
So usually we have done a trivia segment here, but we are in the process of transitioning that out. The new segment, I think we decided will be like a first take, worst take kind of thing, like the worst takes we can find from the last week or so. So we're not going to do awards this week, and starting next week we'll bring that new segment. Hopefully we'll have a catchy name. First take, worst take might be it, but I'll let the lawyer decide if that is usable. He came up with it, so I assume it is.
Instead of it being first take, worst take, because it was going to be, what first take does is they have a second thing. It's called first take, last take.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it could be last take, worst take, because it's the end of the show.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So, and then we're not
Well, he
infringing.
came up with that.
We're not infringing on any rights or anything. So we'll see. But if we don't come up with anything better by then,
It'll be that.
It'll
I
be
like that, actually. We're still trying to rename the One Big Thing, too.
I don't know if we're ever going to rename it.
No, but I think we should keep saying we're planning to.
Yeah, naming
Eventually.
rights available for purchase.
Thank you for tuning in. This was episode 12 of the Breaks Down podcast, brought to you by 528 Collectibles. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have it all. Many ways to bring you your new favorite weekly program. Do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
No, but we always say good episode and fist bump, so good episode.
Good episode.
All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you.